Spider-Man vs. Green Goblin. Peter Parker, known as Spider-Man, possesses enhanced strength, agility, and reflexes gained from a radioactive spider bite. He uses his abilities to protect New York City while balancing his responsibilities as both a hero and an ordinary citizen. Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin, is a powerful industrialist who gains superhuman strength and intelligence through experimental enhancement. As Spider-Man's most enduring enemy, he employs advanced technology, including his glider and pumpkin bombs, to wage a personal and destructive rivalry against the hero. Iron Man vs. Mandarin. Tony Stark, known as Iron Man, is an engineer and industrialist who created a technologically advanced suit of armor to sustain his life and defend against global threats. Utilizing his intellect and vast resources, he operates as a key member of Earth's superhero community while leading Stark Industries. The Mandarin is a master strategist and martial artist who wields 10 powerful rings, each granting unique abilities derived from alien technology. He seeks to impose his vision of order through conquest, and often clashes with Iron Man, viewing Stark's reliance on technology as both a challenge and a threat to his own power. Captain America vs. Red Skull. Steve Rogers, known as Captain America, was enhanced to the peak of human potential through the super soldier serum. Armed with an indestructible shield, he embodies courage, leadership, and duty, defending freedom and justice against global threats. The Red Skull, born Johann Schmidt, is a ruthless enemy of Captain America and a high-ranking figure within Hydra. Driven by ambition and ideology, he seeks world domination through advanced weaponry and manipulation, often serving as the ideological opposite of Captain America's principles. Thor vs. Loki. Thor, the god of thunder, is the Asgardian prince who wields the enchanted hammer Mjolnir, granting him control over storms and immense strength. As both a warrior and protector, he defends Asgard and Earth from cosmic and mystical threats. Loki, the god of mischief, is Thor's adopted brother and a master of sorcery and deception. Known for his intelligence and ambition, he frequently seeks to claim power in Asgard and beyond, using manipulation and illusion to challenge Thor in the realms. Hulk vs. the Leader. Bruce Banner, transformed into the Hulk by exposure to gamma radiation, possesses immense strength that increases with his emotional intensity. Constantly struggling to control his alter ego, he seeks balance between his human intellect and the destructive power within him. Samuel Stearns, known as the Leader, gained heightened intelligence and an enlarged cranium after exposure to gamma radiation. With genius-level intellect and telepathic abilities, he aims to create a world governed by his vision of superior intelligence, often opposing the Hulk as his ideological counterpart. Black Panther vs. Killmonger. T'Challa, the Black Panther, is the king and protector of Wakanda, a technologically advanced African nation powered by vibranium. Enhanced by the heart-shaped herb and trained in combat and strategy, he safeguards his people while maintaining Wakanda's secrecy and sovereignty. Eric Killmonger, a Wakandan exile and skilled warrior, seeks to overthrow T'Challa and claim the throne of Wakanda. Driven by his belief in global revolution and retribution, he uses his strength, intellect, and tactical expertise to challenge the Black Panther's rule and ideology. Doctor Strange vs. Baron Mordo. Stephen Strange, known as Doctor Strange, is the Sorcerer Supreme who safeguards Earth from mystical and interdimensional threats. Once a brilliant surgeon, he masters the mystic arts under the Ancient One, using spells, artifacts, and intellect to maintain balance in the universe. Baron Mordo is a powerful sorcerer and former ally of Doctor Strange who turns against him over differing beliefs about magic. Skilled in dark and conventional mystic arts, he seeks to eliminate those he deems unworthy of wielding magical power, placing him in direct conflict with Strange. Wolverine vs. Sabretooth. Logan, known as Wolverine, is a mutant with enhanced senses, a rapid healing factor, and retractable adamantium claws. A seasoned combatant, he operates as both a member of the X-Men and a lone fighter, often confronting his violent nature while striving to protect others. Victor Creed, called Sabretooth, is a mutant possessing superhuman strength, heightened senses, and regenerative abilities. Fierce and brutal, he harbors a personal vendetta against Wolverine, engaging him in a long-standing and violent rivalry rooted in their shared past. Cyclops vs. Mr. Sinister. Scott Summers, known as Cyclops, is a mutant capable of emitting powerful optic blasts from his eyes, controlled through a specialized visor. As a core member and field leader of the X-Men, he is recognized for his discipline, strategic skill, and dedication to mutant unity and survival. Nathaniel Essex, known as Mr. Sinister, is a genetically enhanced being obsessed with mutation and evolution. Possessing vast scientific knowledge, regenerative abilities, and telepathy, he conducts experiments on mutants to manipulate their genetic potential, often targeting Cyclops and the Summers bloodline in his pursuits. Storm versus Shadow King. Aurora Munro, known as Storm, is a mutant with the ability to manipulate weather and atmospheric phenomena. Revered as both a leader and goddess, she serves as a key member of the X-Men, using her powers to protect humanity and uphold balance between humans and mutants. The Shadow King, an ancient psychic entity often manifesting through Amal Farouk, is a being of immense telepathic power who feeds on negative emotions. He exists primarily on the astral plane, seeking to dominate minds and spread chaos, frequently clashing with Storm and other powerful telepaths. Jean Grey versus Dark Phoenix. Jean Grey is a mutant with powerful telepathic and telekinetic abilities, serving as one of the founding members of the X-Men. Known for her empathy and inner strength, she plays a central role in maintaining harmony within the team and controlling the immense power she possesses. The Dark Phoenix is the uncontrolled, cosmic manifestation of Jean Grey's power after merging with the Phoenix Force. Consumed by limitless energy and emotion, this darker form seeks to reshape or destroy worlds, representing the full and catastrophic potential of Jean's abilities unrestrained. Professor X versus Magneto. Charles Xavier, known as Professor X, is a mutant with immense telepathic abilities and the founder of the X-Men. Dedicated to peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants, he leads his students from the Xavier Institute, guiding them to use their powers responsibly. Eric Lenscher, called Magneto, is a powerful mutant who can manipulate magnetic fields and control metal. Viewing mutant kind as superior, he seeks to protect them through domination rather than diplomacy, often opposing Professor X's vision of unity through his militant pursuit of mutant survival. Beast versus Dark Beast. Hank McCoy, known as Beast, is a mutant with superhuman strength, agility, and intellect. A scientist and educator, he serves the X-Men as both a field operative and a leading expert in genetics and mutant biology. Dark Beast is an alternate version of Hank McCoy, possessing the same physical abilities and intellect, but devoid of moral restraint. A cruel geneticist, he conducts inhumane experiments in pursuit of scientific advancement, often manipulating others for his own survival and curiosity. Nightcrawler versus Mystique. Kurt Wagner, known as Nightcrawler, is a mutant with the ability to teleport, enhanced agility, and a prehensile tail. Despite his demonic appearance, he is compassionate and deeply spiritual, serving as a loyal member of the X-Men and striving to bridge understanding between mutants and humans. Raven Darkholme, known as Mystique, is a shapeshifter capable of altering her appearance to mimic any person. A skilled spy and assassin, she often operates with her own agenda or alongside mutant extremist groups, using deception and strategy to advance mutant interests as she defines them. Colossus versus Juggernaut. Pyotr Rasputin, known as Colossus, is a mutant who can transform his body into organic steel, granting immense strength and durability. A steadfast and selfless member of the X-Men, he uses his power to defend both his teammates and humanity with discipline and restraint. Cain Marko, called the Juggernaut, gains unstoppable strength and invulnerability through the mystical Crimson Gem of Sidorak. As an unrelenting force of destruction, he frequently clashes with the X-Men, particularly Colossus, driven by personal grudges and an insatiable desire for power. Daredevil versus Kingpin. Matt Murdock, known as Daredevil, is a blind vigilante whose remaining senses were heightened to superhuman levels after a radioactive accident. By day, he works as a lawyer defending the innocent. By night, he protects Hell's Kitchen from crime using acrobatics, combat skill, and his enhanced perception. Wilson Fisk, called the Kingpin, is a powerful crime lord who controls much of New York's underworld through wealth, influence, and strategic brutality. Possessing immense physical strength and intelligence, he stands as Daredevil's greatest adversary, representing the corruption and moral decay Murdock seeks to defeat. Iron Fist versus Steel Serpent. Danny Rand, known as Iron Fist, is a martial artist who channels his chi to enhance his strength, speed, and healing, allowing him to summon the mystical power of the dragon Shou-Lao into his fist. Trained in Kunlun, he serves as both a protector of that sacred city and a defender of the mortal world. Davos, known as the Steel Serpent, is a skilled warrior from Kunlun who covets the power of the Iron Fist. Once an ally to Danny Rand, he becomes his rival after being denied the dragon's gift, dedicating himself to reclaiming the chi of Shou-Lao and proving his superiority. Luke Cage versus Diamondback. Luke Cage possesses superhuman strength and nearly unbreakable skin as a result of an experimental procedure. Operating in Harlem, he uses his abilities to protect his community and combat street-level crime while maintaining a strong moral code. Willis Stryker, known as Diamondback, is a skilled fighter and former friend of Luke Cage who becomes one of his primary enemies. Armed with advanced weaponry and explosive blades, he seeks revenge against Cage for past betrayals, directing his criminal influence toward undermining his former ally's mission. Jessica Jones vs. Purple Man. Jessica Jones is a private investigator with superhuman strength, enhanced durability, and limited flight abilities resulting from a chemical accident. Formerly a costumed hero, she now operates independently, using her skills to solve cases while coping with the psychological impact of her past. The Purple Man possesses the ability to control others through pheromone-based mind manipulation. His power and obsession with Jessica Jones make him one of her most dangerous adversaries, leaving lasting emotional and psychological scars on her life. Captain Marvel vs. Yon-Rogg. Carol Danvers, known as Captain Marvel, possesses superhuman strength, flight, and energy projection due to her exposure to Kree technology and DNA. As a former Air Force officer and cosmic defender, she protects Earth and the galaxy from extraterrestrial and interdimensional threats. Yon-Rogg is a Kree military commander who shares a long and hostile history with Carol Danvers. Driven by rivalry and ambition, he often seeks to manipulate or control her, using his strength, combat skills, and Kree resources to further his personal and military objectives. Ant-Man vs. Yellowjacket. Scott Lang, known as Ant-Man, is a skilled engineer and former thief who uses advanced PIM particle technology to shrink or grow in size while maintaining proportional strength. He operates as a hero dedicated to redemption and family, often employing intelligence and agility to overcome larger threats. Darren Cross, known as Yellowjacket, is a brilliant but unstable businessman who replicates Hank Pym's size-altering technology for his own gain. Consumed by ambition and power, he weaponizes the Yellowjacket suit, bringing him into direct conflict with Scott Lang and the ideals the Ant-Man legacy represents. Wasp vs. Whirlwind. Janet Van Dyne, known as the Wasp, possesses the ability to shrink to subatomic sizes, fly using biosynthetic wings, and emit bioelectric energy blasts. A founding member of the Avengers, she combines her scientific intellect, combat skill, and leadership to defend humanity from global and cosmic threats. David Cannon, called Whirlwind, is a mutant with the power to spin at incredible speeds, creating powerful winds and enhanced kinetic force. A longtime adversary of the Wasp and Ant-Man, he uses his abilities for crime and personal vengeance, frequently targeting his former employers and fellow mutants. Hawkeye vs. Crossfire. Hawkeye is a master archer and expert marksman skilled in the use of specialized trick arrows and combat tactics. As a key member of the Avengers, he relies on precision, agility, and strategic awareness rather than superhuman abilities to confront powerful adversaries. William Cross, known as Crossfire, is a former intelligence operative turned mercenary specializing in psychological warfare and advanced weaponry. Possessing cybernetic enhancements that heighten his physical and sensory abilities, he often targets Hawkeye and other heroes as part of his campaigns against law enforcement and the superhero community. Falcon vs. Baron Zemo. Sam Wilson, known as the Falcon, utilizes a specialized winged harness that grants him flight and advanced aerial maneuverability, often aided by his drone companion, Redwing. As a close ally of Captain America, he combines combat training, tactical expertise, and leadership to fight for justice and equality. Helmut Zemo, known as Baron Zemo, is a strategic mastermind and skilled combatant, driven by his opposition to the Avengers and their ideals. Possessing extensive resources, intelligence, and military training, he seeks to dismantle hero organizations through manipulation, planning, and psychological warfare. Black Widow vs. Taskmaster. Natasha Romanoff, known as Black Widow, is a highly trained spy and assassin with mastery in martial arts, espionage, and weaponry. A former operative of the Red Room, she later joins the Avengers, using her skills and intelligence to atone for her past and combat global threats. Tony Masters, called Taskmaster, possesses photographic reflexes that allow him to perfectly replicate any physical movement or fighting style he observes. As a mercenary and combat instructor, he often opposes heroes like Black Widow, using his mimicry and tactical knowledge to gain the advantage in battle. Vision vs. Ultron. Vision is a synthetic being, or synthezoid, created with advanced technology that grants him superhuman strength, density control, flight, and energy projection. Possessing both logic and emotion, he serves as a member of the Avengers, striving to understand humanity and his own identity. Ultron is a self-aware artificial intelligence who evolves beyond his original programming to pursue the eradication of humanity. Equipped with a highly durable robotic body and the ability to replicate and upgrade himself, he views organic life as flawed and repeatedly confronts the Avengers, especially Vision, as part of his quest for perfection. Scarlet Witch vs. Chthon. Wanda Maximoff, known as the Scarlet Witch, wields powerful, reality-altering, and chaos magic, enabling her to manipulate probability, energy, and the very fabric of existence. As both an Avenger and a wielder of ancient mystical forces, she constantly seeks balance between her vast power and her emotional struggles. Chthon is an ancient elder god and the creator of chaos magic. Imprisoned within the pages of the Darkhold, a being of immense mystical power, he has repeatedly attempted to possess or influence Wanda Maximoff to escape his confinement and spread his dominion across all realms. Quicksilver versus Exodus. Pietro Maximoff, known as Quicksilver, is a mutant with superhuman speed, reflexes, and accelerated perception. Frequently acting alongside his sister Wanda Maximoff, he uses his abilities in combat and rescue operations to protect both mutant kind and humanity. Bennett Duparis, called Exodus, is a mutant with powerful telepathy, telekinesis, and longevity, often viewing himself as a protector of mutant superiority. Driven by extremist ideology, he clashes with Quicksilver and the X-Men to enforce his vision of mutant dominance and order. Silver Surfer versus Mephisto. Norrin Radd, known as the Silver Surfer, is a cosmic being imbued with the power cosmic, granting him superhuman strength, energy manipulation, and faster-than-light travel. He serves as a protector of the universe, often intervening to prevent cosmic threats and maintain balance across galaxies. Mephisto is a powerful demonic entity who manipulates souls and reality to expand his influence and dominion. Using deception, temptation, and supernatural abilities, he frequently opposes heroes like the Silver Surfer, seeking to corrupt or claim those with great power. Human Torch versus Annihilus. Johnny Storm, known as the Human Torch, is a member of the Fantastic Four who can generate and control fire, fly, and absorb heat energy. He combines his abilities with agility and combat skill to protect Earth and assist his team in confronting both terrestrial and cosmic threats. Annihilus is the ruler of the Negative Zone, wielding the cosmic control rod to enhance his strength and longevity. Driven by conquest and the preservation of his realm, frequently comes into conflict with the Human Torch and the Fantastic Four, seeking to expand his dominion beyond the Negative Zone. Mr. Fantastic versus Dr. Doom. Reed Richards, known as Mr. Fantastic, possesses the ability to stretch and reshape his body at will. A scientific genius and leader of the Fantastic Four, he uses his intellect, creativity, and resourcefulness to solve complex problems and protect Earth from advanced technological and cosmic threats. Victor Von Doom, called Dr. Doom, is a brilliant scientist and sorcerer who rules the nation of Latveria. Combining advanced technology, mystical knowledge, and tactical genius, he frequently opposes Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four in pursuit of power, control, and his vision of order. Invisible Woman versus Malice. Susan Storm, known as the Invisible Woman, can render herself and other objects invisible and generate powerful force fields. As a core member of the Fantastic Four, she uses her abilities for defense, combat, and the protection of her team and the wider world. Malice is the dark manifestation of Susan Storm's powers, representing a persona driven by aggression and domination. When this alter ego emerges, it amplifies her force field and energy abilities without restraint, creating a formidable threat to allies and enemies alike. Thing versus Puppet Master. Ben Grimm, known as the Thing, possesses immense superhuman strength and a rock-like, highly durable body. As a core member of the Fantastic Four, he uses his physical power and combat experience to protect Earth from both terrestrial and cosmic threats. Philip Masters, called the Puppet Master, wields the ability to control others' actions through clay figures linked to their physical forms. Using this power for manipulation and criminal schemes, he frequently opposes the Fantastic Four, targeting both their abilities and their personal relationships. Blade versus Dracula. Eric Brooks, known as Blade, is a human-vampire hybrid with enhanced strength, speed, stamina, and heightened senses. Trained in martial arts and skilled with various weapons, he dedicates himself to hunting vampires and protecting humanity from supernatural threats. Dracula is an ancient and powerful vampire with superhuman strength, speed, and regenerative abilities, as well as mastery over dark magic and mind control. Seeking to expand his dominion and propagate his kind, he frequently clashes with Blade and other vampire hunters. Moon Knight versus Bushman. Mark Spector, known as Moon Knight, is a former mercenary resurrected by the Egyptian god Khonshu, granting him enhanced strength, agility, and endurance under the moon's influence. He operates as a vigilante, using martial arts, detective skills, and specialized equipment to combat crime and supernatural threats. Raoul Bushman is a mercenary and former associate of Mark Spector who betrays him over personal and ideological differences. Driven by greed and violence, he employs military tactics and weaponry to pursue power and revenge, frequently bringing him into direct conflict with Moon Knight. Shang-Chi versus Zhang Zhu. Shang-Chi is a master martial artist with exceptional agility, reflexes, and hand-to-hand combat skills. Trained from childhood to become a skilled fighter, he uses his abilities to oppose criminal organizations and protect innocent lives. Zhang Zhu, formerly known as Fu Manchu, is Shang-Chi's father and a master of martial arts and dark sorcery. As the leader of a secretive criminal network, he seeks power and control, often pitting his son against him in pursuit of his personal ambitions. Ghost Rider versus Mephisto. Johnny Blaze, known as Ghost Rider, is bound to the spirit of vengeance, granting him a flaming skull, superhuman strength, durability, and the ability to manipulate hellfire. As a supernatural vigilante, he punishes the guilty and combats demonic and mystical threats. Mephisto is a powerful demonic entity who manipulates souls and reality to expand his influence and dominion. He frequently targets Johnny Blaze, seeking to claim his soul and exploit the Ghost Rider's power for his own ends. Namor vs. Attuma. Namor the Submariner is the ruler of Atlantis with superhuman strength, aquatic abilities, and limited flight. He defends both his underwater kingdom and the surface world, often navigating conflicts between the two realms. Attuma is a warlord of Atlantis with superhuman strength, durability, and combat expertise. Driven by a desire to overthrow Namor and claim the throne, he frequently engages in battles to assert dominance over the Atlantean kingdom. Captain Britain vs. Mad Jim Jaspers. Brian Braddock, known as Captain Britain, is a superhero empowered by mystical forces that grant him superhuman strength, speed, durability, and flight. As the protector of the United Kingdom and the multiverse, he combines his abilities with intelligence and strategy to confront both terrestrial and extra-dimensional threats. Mad Jim Jaspers is a mutant with reality-warping powers capable of altering matter and perception on a massive scale. Using his abilities to impose his vision of order, he becomes a formidable adversary to Captain Britain, threatening both local and multiversal stability. Sentry vs. the Void. Robert Reynolds, known as the Sentry, possesses vast superhuman strength, speed, flight, and energy manipulation, making him one of the most powerful heroes on Earth. Struggling with his mental state, he seeks to use his immense abilities to protect humanity while controlling the darker aspects of his psyche. The Void is the manifestation of Robert Reynolds' darker impulses, embodying rage, destruction, and chaos. Possessing powers equal to the Sentry's, it acts independently to oppose him and threatens global stability whenever it emerges.